Hey, good morning, CAD 255. Hope you guys are doing well. Um, all right, first day of SolidWorks. Pretty exciting. Um, all right, so I noticed that most of you in the class took CAD 101 with AutoCAD last semester. Um, SolidWorks is very different from AutoCAD, but don't worry. It's in a lot of ways it's easier. Um, But if CAD 101 or AutoCAD was your first CAD platform and the first time using uh, CAD, the way you draw in SolidWorks and the way you think through drawings is different. Um, and so I have SolidWorks open, and I'm just going to give you kind of a basic my spiel on the differences between AutoCAD and kind of drawing philosophies and stuff like that in SolidWorks. And then we'll do a little bit of Solid Professor stuff, and I'll post a cool SolidWorks video because there's a lot of cool stuff being done with SolidWorks. I really like SolidWorks. It's one of my favorites. Um, all right, so SolidWorks is primarily three-dimensional. So we do use two-dimension, but it's in order to create a three-dimensional shape. So when you first open SolidWorks, this is the opening screen, and it might come up with a little menu in here asking you if you want to open um, previous parts. I just hit click cancel. We're just going to open it from the beginning. So we'll say new file. And yours might look like this. It might look a little bit different based on you can customize your view or your, kind of the interface basically. But we're gonna want this part file. We don't want template, we don't want assembly, we don't want drawings. We want the part file, a new part file. So part, click OK, and then it will start to load all of your toolbars and stuff like that. All right, SolidWorks might be operating kind of slow because I'm on a VPN, and so it has to go over the network. So it might have to be a little patient. But okay, so here is your ribbon bar up here. You've got a ribbon, and then you've got tabs. So I'm going to refer to this as ribbon, and this is tabs. These two tabs are where you're going to live for quite a while. So features, sketch, features, sketch. I kind of wish sketch was over on the left because sketch is the first thing you have to use to create a feature. So features are based on sketches. So you draw a two-dimensional sketch, and then you make that sketch three-dimensional using the features tab. We're going to go back and forth. So I'm just going to model the workflow briefly. So we go to sketch, then we have to click new sketch or sketch button. So this creates a sketch or a place in this three-dimensional world where you can create a two-dimensional drawing. So sketch. Then what pops up is SolidWorks wants to know, where do you want to put the sketch? Do you want it on the front plane, top plane? Do you want it on the right plane? And then whatever plane you select, it will turn and it'll show you that plane and it'll let you sketch two-dimensionally on that plane. You can also do this once we get three-dimensional parts, we can do it on the faces instead of the planes. But let's just stick with planes for now. So I'm going to click top plane. And now we've got an open sketch. And you're going to notice that we now have these two buttons up on the top right. There's a red X and there's like a blue arrow. Those are only there if you're in an active sketch. So if you try sketching and all these tools are grayed out, they're not active, look over here. If these aren't there, that means you're not in an actual sketch. So But we're in an active sketch. Now we're just gonna choose a tool. I'm gonna choose a circle. We're gonna do this, escape. Again, to get out of a tool, if I click line tool and I wanna get out of it, say I draw this, and it just keeps going. I'm like, oh no, I wanna stop. The escape button on your keyboard, top left, boom, that's where you go. I'm just gonna delete that now, the window. All right, this little arrow here, or triad, kind of 3 arrows, is called the origin. The origin is very important. Any sketch should be attached to the origin. So you could drag this and drop it right there, and it would be attached to the origin. And now it has this little, says it's coincident, it has a mate, basically. It says, I'm attached to this, I'm coincident. If you try to drag this, it won't drag anymore. It won't let you drag this circle away. It'll let you change the size, because we haven't given it a dimension yet, but it won't let you drag it. Let's say you decided, I don't want it there. I don't want it coincident. If you click that center, the the mate shows up, and if you right click, you can say delete, and you can delete that guy, and now you can drag it again. These are very helpful, these relationships. So we've got it attached to the origin at the center point. Now if we give it a dimension, and this is one of the big differences between SolidWorks and AutoCAD. The dimensions aren't there just to identify lengths. They actually drive the sketch. So if we click here, we can give it a size. Let's call it 8, enter. It changes the circle size. So unlike in AutoCAD, where if you added a dimension, it didn't. It just showed you. It was purely for communication of the size of that line. If you wanted to change the line length, you had to draw a new line or drag it. Here, which is really nice, if you decided you want to change that dimension, double click 5, and now you've got a different size circle. No redrawing, none of that stuff. It's pretty great. It makes it really easy. Okay, so now we've got a defined sketch, and I know it's fully defined because now the lines are black. They used to be blue. So let's just do that again. So see, it's blue. I can change the size. I add a dimension, and now it's black. What that means is I can't drag this. I can't change the position. I can't change the size. I can't really change anything about it anymore. It has all of the information it needs to be fully defined and happy. So that's usually what we're going for, is a fully defined sketch, using a combination of associations to the origin. So if you drag it to a point, a combination of those as well as dimensions will get you a fully defined sketch. Once you've got a fully defined sketch, then we can switch over to our Features tab. Click the Features tab, and now we've got some tools we can use. One of the most common ones is Extrude. Extrude's going to let us give it 3 dimensions. So you've got an arrow. A lot of times you can drag it up and down, or you can come over here and on the left on the Feature Manager and give it an exact size. Let's call that 6 inches. Click OK. And now we've got a 3-dimensional cylinder. Okay, I'm going to go through the workflow one more time, and then I'm going to send you over to Solid Professor to hear similar things from Solid Professor. But it's good to hear these things multiple times, because it will take multiple times for you to figure stuff out. But like I said before, you can start a sketch on a face as well as a plane. So we're going to go back to the Sketch tab. We're going to start a new sketch. And again, SOLIDWORKS is asking here, select a plane, face, or an edge. So we're going to, instead of selecting the planes kind of disappear, but if you click this little arrow over here, you will get your little tree back, and you can see all your planes. So if you did want to sketch on a plane, you can select those, but right now we're going to select this top surface. I'm going to select the circle, and again I'm going to start my circle on the origin. Give it a size. Let's call it 3. And then I'll click OK. And as you can see, I've got a fully defined sketch. I'm going to go back to my Features tab. This time I've got more tools to choose from because I have more features to work with. So as you build out a part, you will get more and more tools or more and more options for tools based on what you've drawn so far. So now we've got an extrude cut option available to us. We didn't before because we had nothing to cut. We didn't have any three-dimensional geometry to cut, so it wasn't available. So now we can click cut. It kind of identifies this as the area that you want to cut because it's a logical, it's kind of an intuitive thing that it uses. But a lot of times you'll select that area. Down here you'll say selected contours, and you'll select the contour that you want to cut down with. Here you can select, you can say blind, which is it just goes however deep. You can say through all, which means it's going to go through the whole part. If you have multiple features, you could say through all both, and it'll go through both features. So you've got different through or different cut options, but usually I'll just use a through all or a blind, and then in a blind you can tell it the depth that you want. Those are the two that you'll use most often. But for now, let's go through all. Click OK, and we've got a three-dimensional part. So pretty exciting, pretty fun. It's a fun tool, but it's going to take a little bit of reprogramming of your brain because you're going to draw differently. Okay, so I'm going to put an assignment for you guys in Solid Professor. And so go to Solid Professor, and that'll be there. And then in D2L, I'll also have something for you guys to turn in. So just check in with D2L and Solid Professor first, and just see what is due, and then go back and watch the Solid Professor progression, and then do the assignment, and then turn the assignment in to D2L. So, all right. Hope you guys are well. Hope you guys have a good day, and let me know if there's anything I can help you with.